Hello again, welcome to our reading of Iliad 1. We're up to line 462. And so they've started the sacrifice to Apollo, and now Hogeron, the old man, this is the priest, Kai from Kaio, without augment here, he was burning, understand the sacrifice, episkidses, upon the firewood. And on top of that, Labe, he poured Eithopper, literally bright-eyed wine, so sparkling wine, not in the modern sense, Neoi de Parauton, and the young men beside him, Ekon for Akon, they were holding the Pemp Obola Kersi, they were holding in their hands. And you can see the Pemp root here for 5, and the Obolos here for prong, or fork, or spit. So it's the 5-pronged fork. So they were the young men were holding. Some young men beside him were holding in their hands the 5-pronged fork. But when now the kata goes with the ka-a there, and this is actually a passive, and the murie is dual. Some texts read murray here, so it may ray, but this is probably a dual. These are the two thighs that they've mentioned, and the kata is a preverb with ka-a. This is from, so the verb is katakaio. Katakaio, to completely consume by fire. And so when the two thighs were consumed by fire, when they were burnt, and passanto is from patiamai, to taste, and this is the aorist here, so the verb you're looking for in the dictionary is that one, I think. So when they had tasted of the splankna, the entrails, mistulon, that's actually a verb without augment. It means to cut into small pieces. Of course, the usual ara, accordingly. So they cut accordingly, tala for ta'ala, the rest of it, and eperan, this is from Peiro, it's to pierce, so they pierced it around the spits, so they stuck it on the spits. So the idea is you give the bones and the fat to the god, and you put a little bit of meat on top, but the rest of it goes to the human beings, and so they then cut up the rest, they put them on spits, they're going to roast them and eat that. And there's our roast there. So this is from Optao. Optesan, they roasted it, perifradeos, carefully, erusanto, and they drew all of it off. So they've roasted this meat on spits, and then did that carefully, and then they remove it all. But when Pausanto from Pao, when they had ceased, this is middle, when they had ceased from their labour, from their work, and tetukonto, this is pluperfect here from Tuco, they had made for themselves, it's middle, the feast, dinute, so yeah, they feasted. Dinutop, I think it would be. Dinuntop, they feasted without augment. Nor was their thumos, nor did their heart eduetop, nor was their heart lacking in any way of the well-balanced feast. Their hearts did not lack anything of the well-balanced feast. But when, and this is a standard line in Homer, the X is a preverb with hentot here, which is from, as the aorist, from Hiame. And so when they had literally let go of desire, so when they had satisfied their desire, their eron, this is a genitive, posios, for drink. Posis is the nominative for drink and food. So when they'd had their fill, the young men, ep estepsanto, they filled to the brim the mixing bowls with drink. And then this is from nomao, and they distributed them accordingly to everyone. In all the cups, ep arc seminoi, performing the initiatory rites. That is, you poured a few little drops out to the god before you drank yourself. So making an offering, they distributed the wine among all the cups from depas. This is the dative plural here, from depas. But they were propitiating the god in song, the all-day long men. So this is actually an adjective describing. So they are the all-day long men. In other words, they doing it all day. They were propitiating the god with song, singing sweetly. The subject is here, the young men of the Achaeans, singing kalon sweetly, adverb here, a paion. This is a song to the god. Melpontes, singing to the Hecaergon, or Hecawergon, the far shooter. And he, hearing, took pleasure in his phrena, in his mind. So the god's having a good time as well. He gets the sacrifice and hears all the lovely singing and the paion to Apollo. But when the sun Cat-edu from Cataduno had set, and the epi is a preverb with the erchomai here, and that's the subject, Knephas, darkness, came down. Then at that time they slept beside, these are the horses, the HAWSER, these are ropes, these are stern ropes of the ship, Amos, and but when rosy-fingered dawn, newly born, appeared, at that time then, this is from an ago, they set sail. This is a technical word to get on board ship and set sail with meta here. They set sail for the broad army of the Achaeans. And the far shooter Apollo, Hiae from Hiame, sent for them an ikmenon uron. This is literally a coming or perhaps welcome or favourable. Uron is wind, uros is wind. This is believed to be connected with hikneomai in the sense of sending them forth, so coming, hence welcome or favourable. And they stesant, they set up the so they put in place really the histon, the mast, and petasan, they unfurled, they let fly the white sails, and the anna goes with the petasan here from petanumi. So they let fly up the white sails, and the wind, and the N again goes with the presan. It's from M pretho, so the verb here is M pretho, to inflate. And that N goes as a preverb with that presen. So the wind inflated the middle of the sail. Remember, histion is the sail and histos is the mast. And the purple, or perhaps dark wave, around the stay ray. And the stay ray is, this is a locative here. It's probably not with the amphi, but the amphi is probably adverbial. So, and round about the dark wave, stay ray is probably locative here at the stern, sometimes called the cutwater of the ship. So at the stern, it literally cried greatly, so made a great noise at the stern, and then of the ship as it moved. So this is from this verb of going of Amy Ibo. So round about, a dark wave made a loud noise at the cutwater, or at the stern of the ship as it was going. And this is from Theo, it ran along the wave, dia presusa, accomplishing its path. But when they came to the broad camp of the Achaeans, they dragged up the black ship onto the shore, high up, adverbial, on the sands, and they, tenusan goes with the hupon here, they dragged underneath makra, long props. This is to beach the ships, and they themselves skidnanto from skidnumi, from skidnumi, they scattered to about their tents and their ships. So they scattered to their tents and their ships. And that's the end of that little section.